What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 18 of the Ask Tony Show. Thank you so much for joining me. We're at home, still quarantined, trying to hang in there, but we have some great questions that I want to get to today, so let's get started.
Is it immoral to sell during this coronavirus time?
Honestly, for a lot of people, the answer is going to be yes. There are a lot of folks whose lives are just on pause. A lot of people aren't working, they're working less. And so many people just aren't thinking about buying anything, signing up for anything. So it's just kind of a bad time for direct sales. So is it immoral? I don't think it's immoral, because if you run a business, you have to sell. That's what you do, and you have to also provide for your family. But when it comes to, is it effective right now? Probably not for the vast majority of people. But that doesn't mean that you can't do anything. That's a conversation that I've had with my agents and a lot of other agents that have reached out to me on what to do if I can't directly sell. And the answer is work on your branding. Now is the time to start that YouTube show, to start that podcast, to build that newsletter, or whatever it is, whatever content you can start to build, or that you've had in the back of your mind that maybe before you didn't have time to create because you were so busy with the day-to-day. If you're at home, you have time. So now's the perfect opportunity to work on your branding, to ask yourself, what can I do that can set me apart from my competitors? What can I put out? What can I create? What can I build? And start the process of creating that. Because at the end of the day, branding you can do at any point in time. So, and I feel like especially now, because whatever field that you're in, people are kind of looking for information. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how it's going to affect them, especially in real estate. So now is the time where you can step up and show your leadership and put out great content to help people. So even if it's not a good time to sell, it's always a good time to brand yourself.
Will the market crash?
So there's a ton of information out there, and some people think that it will crash, some people think that it won't crash. So I'm going to kind of give you my 2 cents, my opinion based on what I've seen and what I've studied over the past couple of weeks. I do not believe that the market is going to crash. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to maybe take a dip. I do believe that it's going to take a dip. I think second quarter is going to be awful. But as far as it crashing, I don't think it's going to crash. And the people that believe that it is going to crash usually make reference to 2008. So I want to talk about that real quick. Back in 2008, where it was the huge meltdown, it was kind of a gradual thing. And we kind of knew what was happening. We kind of saw it happen in real time. That's why we have movies like The Big Short, where people could predict it. They kind of knew it was going to happen. Some of these inside traders and things like that. So we knew that it was coming, and then eventually it came and it completely fell. But in this case, the market is still good, but it's just on pause. So something interesting that has been happening is banks are not elevating their interest rates right now. What they're doing is they're charging money up front to still give you good interest rates. It's not the same thing. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth about that, but from all the reports that I've seen, all the information from the boards, the realtors, from everybody that I've read, the consensus is that the market is not going to crash. It might dip a little bit, but as soon as this whole thing blows over, it's going to recover and probably higher than it was before. So if you fear that it's going to completely crash like 2008, I don't think it's going to happen.
What is a mortgage forbearance plan?
So this is a huge question right now, and I gotta always give the disclaimer, I'm not a loan officer, I'm a real estate broker. So for specific information, you have to reach out to a loan officer. But obviously I'm in real estate, we talk to lenders, we deal with lenders all the time, and I'm getting questions from past clients about what is a mortgage forbearance plan. So basically a mortgage forbearance plan in a nutshell is a special plan, I guess, or a special permit that the bank gives you to not make your payments for a set amount of months. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, depending on the lender, depending on the program. So the interesting thing about mortgage forbearance plans is that everybody wants to apply. Nobody wants to pay their homes right now. But what you have to watch out for is you have to see what the implications are of not making your payments. So what I mean by that is there's typically 2 things that we're seeing that are going on right now. Number one, is lenders are either, if you take 3 months, for example, you say, okay, I'm not going to make my payments for 3 months. I have a 3-month forbearance plan. Some lenders are taking those 3 months and they're attaching it to the end of the mortgage. So basically your term is just longer, or they're taking that balance. Let's say your monthly payment is $2,000 a month, a 3-month forbearance is $6,000. They're taking those $6,000 and they're simply adding it to the principal. That's one way. The other way, which is what I've seen is the more common way, is if we take the exact same example, 3 months forbearance, $2,000 a month, that's $6,000 that are a part of the plan. On month 4, you're going to owe all 3 months. So if you take a plan like that, okay, you're not going to pay month 1, 2, 3, but on month 4, you're going to owe all 4 months. So that's going to be an $8,000 balloon payment that you're going to have to make. That's the most common thing that we're seeing right now with a ton of lenders. And a lot of people don't even know that that's the way it works. So they just sign up for a forbearance plan. They don't read the fine print. They don't know what's going on. And 4 months down the road, they're going to have to pay $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 to get caught up. So a forbearance plan is fine, but you have to read the fine print. Make sure that your lender explains how it works and what the implications are of that plan. And really only use it if you have to. A lot of people feel like they just don't have to pay their homes, and a lot of people are actually still working. So if you can still pay your bills, pay your bills. But if you have a specific need, reach out to your lender, get the info, and read the fine print.
How to spend your time during this quarantine.
If you're at home, you don't have a whole lot to do, you're not working, you're working less hours, and you have time, the number one recommendation that I can give you is try to learn. Try to read, try to take an e-course, try to take some skill or something that you're not great at, and try to learn, try to get better. Whether that's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm taking, e-courses on digital marketing, on leadership, on management. So I'm heavily engaged in learning and producing content. So those are kind of the two things that for a business person, I think have the most value if right now business is slow. Number one, try to learn, try to sharpen your skills through books, YouTube videos, e-courses, whatever you can get your hands on, but pick a skill that you want to get better at when this whole thing passes and start learning. And number two, it kind of goes back to the previous question, but put out content. Create content, create something, do something that is going to set you apart from the competition when this whole thing blows over, which it's going to. So those would be the two main things. I'd throw in a third, which isn't really business related, but don't get fat. Take care of yourself, work out, go outside, don't stay in your room 24/7, try to get some exercise, control what you're eating, don't snack a ton, and stay healthy. But those would be really the three things that I would recommend to do while you're at home.